So I went to live in Scotland with my family, and I looked at the things I could do as a parent. And I decided to go and pursue my master's, and I had to look and compare different universities and look at what I really wanted to achieve. I was already running a travel company here in Kenya, but then I wanted to get an international overview, and I wanted to add something little on top of what I already knew. Normally, how students get there, if say I started as an international student, I would have gone with a student visa. I would have started by applying to a university, gotten a visa, gone there, done my master's for 1 year, maybe transitioned to a graduate visa and a skilled worker visa. That would have been the straightforward story of a student. Some of them just know that they want to go abroad, but they don't even know where to start. They don't even know this abroad in UK, in Europe, or anywhere. So we guide them. We tell them there are these destinations, and these are the benefits of going to destination A, and these are the advantages of going to destination B. You also need to understand if the student can be able to cater for the funds, because if you put tuition fee, living costs, that's close to 5 million Kenya shillings. So you need to understand whether the student has the funds, or you also need to help them source a scholarship for them to go and study. It's not also easy to transition from a visitor to a student visa. You have to probably transition from a visitor to a skilled worker visa if you find a job. And you see, when you go with a student visa, you'll be able to work part-time. You are also allowed to, because you've already paid for your insurances, you'll be able to use the hospital facilities for anything that requires in matters health.
Morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching us from. Welcome to Slick Media Kenya, and today I have another amazing video for you. So karibuni sana. Even as I thank you so much for the continued support, thank you for the love, thank you for the new subscribers. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki sana. My name is Stella, and today I am bringing to you a very a nice story that I am so glad to get the opportunity to actually bring it to you. Now, so many of us have dreams, and these dreams are to go outside the country. Unasikia, oh, mimi nataka kwenda UK, oh, mimi nataka kwenda Canada, oh, mimi nataka kwenda US. But it's really difficult to have these opportunities. And so I have an amazing lady here who will be able to help us to know what do I need, what do I require to be able to go outside, niende huko nje. Atatuambia if it is good, ukiambiwa unaenda kufanya kazi, unaenda kufanya shule, and there are so many things that lie along or around hizi stories za kutoka nje. And today we have an amazing opportunity to be able to learn and even know 1 or 2, 3 things from an amazing lady. Atatuambia jina yake and atatuambia what she does. So karibuni sana, and for the very first time on our channel, karibu sana Wendy.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you so much. Mimi sijawahi pita beyond. Okay. Nimejaribu, nimeenda hapa Tanzania, nimeenda hapa Rwanda. So bado sina accent, unaweza tuongelesha hiyo accent ya
hata mimi hajashika.
Haijashika bado.
Bado.
Yeah, so maybe tunaweza anza kutuambia jina yako. Where you come from?
Yes.
And maybe what you do.
My name is Wendy Kajuju, and I'm Kenyan. I live in Scotland, and I am the founder of Global Scholars Connect. We help students get to their study destinations. We help them with the application processes. We help them secure a student visa. We help them with student jobs. We guide them on how to survive as students. There's a well-being support as well. And we also help them transition from a student visa to a skilled worker visa, or continue to be a student, maybe a PhD student. Yes, those are some of the services we offer as Global Scholars Connect. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Amazing. So maybe Mimi, I'm so interested in Kajuju. How did you get to Uni? Where did this journey start?
Well, this is a very long journey, but then of course we had to start somewhere. So I went to live in Scotland with my family, and I looked at the things I could do as a parent, and I decided to go and pursue my master's. And I had to look and compare different universities and look at what I really wanted to achieve. I was already running a travel company here in Kenya, but then I wanted to get an international overview, and I wanted to add something little on top of what I already knew. So I decided to do a master's in international tourism and events management, and that was the starting of the journey of founding Global Scholars Connect. So what happened is that while I was studying, I realized we were probably less than 10 students from Kenya. We had African students, but most of them were from West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, and I felt so lonely. I was also wondering, why is it that I hear people are going to the US, people are going to study, but I can't see them here?
Yeah.
What's the issue? So I approached university management. I went to one of our partner universities, Glasgow Caledonian University, and I told them, I asked them actually, why is it that there are no Kenyans here? They told me, we go to Kenya, we do the marketing, we don't get as many students as other universities. Can you help? Can you bring these students to us? I said, why not? So we started with our first contract with them, and 2023 was our first intake as a Global Scholars Connect. So from there I started telling my friends, families, we've started taking students to study. Can you guys join? Can you tell someone? Yeah, that's about that.
That is so interesting. Like you go to school and then you realize that you are just alone.
Yeah.
That's a kind of real. Maybe when you can tell us when you were ready. First of all, maybe you didn't even tell us how did you decide to go to UK? Where did this journey start? People have issues getting visas. How did you get a visa to go there? You were even there with your family.
Yes.
I mean, that's big.
My story is totally different, but normally how students get there, if say I started as an international student, I would have gone with a student visa. I would have started by applying to a university, gotten a visa, gone there, done my master's for 1 year, maybe transitioned to a graduate visa and a skilled worker visa. That would have been the straightforward story of a student. But then I went as a wife and a mother. I got married. I went to Poland first, and then we decided to take advantage of the Brexit. So anyone who was from the European countries and they were already living in the UK are now being considered as UK residents, permanent residents for that case. So we went to the UK with my family in 2018, just before the Brexit. So from there on, I got a spouse visa. My husband has a Polish citizenship, and I got this visitor's visa. First it was refused because we didn't know the right visa to apply for. We lost money, and if an agent did that for me, I would be here saying they conned me.
Yes.
No one conned me. I applied for the wrong visa. There are no refunds. I lost money. So the next visa we applied for was actually free for a spouse to an EEA citizen. So I got a spouse visa, went to the UK, stayed for 1 year, bringing up my child, and then after that stayed for 2 years. In 2020, that's when I started saying I want to go and study, just because I was also struggling with raising a child and looking for a full-time job.
Yeah.
So I had to allow my husband work as I looked for gigs here and there as I took care of my son. So 2021, after COVID, that's when I went to school.
Yeah.
So I went to study as a temporary resident of the UK with a residence permit. But then I was allowed to study like a UK citizen because, again, thanks to my husband's citizenship. So I did, I studied as a home student. And finishing school, instead of looking for a job, I decided to start Global Scholars Connect.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. So, there are people who fake papers. Just because you mentioned papers
Yes.
and school, and we went through a spouse, someone out there could think, wacha tu niolewe na mzungu. Nisonge. But anyway, I'm kidding.
But people do that.
But people do that,
Yes.
right? Just to go out.
Yes.
Yeah. But then you found some cases of people getting just to
I
be
mean,
outside.
not even to a mzungu. If you have a Kenyan who is a citizen there and they are okay to do an arrangement like that, why not? It's not illegal so long as all of you are at an age where you can make a decision and say, I agreed to this. I mean, there's no harm in that. Yeah.
People are doing everything they can just
Yeah.
to be outside. Sijui wanakimbia wanatoroka tu Kenya.
Yeah, I think it's fake it till you make it.
And right? That leads me to my next question. What do I need to go outside?
First, you need to also ask yourself where you want your life. What is your purpose in life? Studying abroad is a challenging journey, and most of the times you find that there are so many people who are interested in going to study and work abroad, but then you wonder, where do I start from? So that's what we start with, asking students, what are your plans?
Yes.
We do a pre-application interview, absolutely free, and we ask the students, what are your plans? What destinations do you have in mind? Some of them just know that they want to go abroad, but they don't even know where to start. They don't even know this abroad in the UK, in Europe, or in
Yeah.
So we guide them. We tell them there are these destinations, and these are the benefits of going to destination A, and these are the advantages of going to destination B.
Yeah.
Because all of them have these good points, good benefits, but then they also have their challenges. Like you find UK is the easiest destination to go when it comes to the visa, but it's also pretty much expensive if you compare it with a European country, for example. But then you also need to understand if the student can be able to cater for the funds, because if you put tuition fee, living cost, that's close to 5 million Kenya shillings. So you need to understand whether the student has the funds, or you also need to help them source a scholarship for them to go and study. Or do you even need to help them with getting a loan so that they can pay while they study, or maybe after their studies?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. What exactly, how do you help people? Like, what exactly do you do to help people transition maybe?
I'll probably answer with I asked the same question. I have a student who are going with us through Global Scholars to the UK from Eldoret. And we know those cases are very many in Eldoret or Uasin Gishu County. So I asked them what's happening. And one of the agents said, the agents are not telling students that they are going as students. They are telling them you're going as skilled workers. So this student is paying millions of money and they're expecting to go and start work. Or they're probably going with a visitor's visa and they were supposed to go as students. So there's a disconnection. So the student is coming to me, but they don't know what they're applying for. They just want to go. Some of them are not even being told, as a student, there are hours that you are supposed to work. You can't work full time. And if you're not working full time, you may not even be able to survive if you do not have enough money in your account to cater for this period where you're only allowed to work maybe for 20 hours. So the issue is people are not willing to guide these people honestly. You're just, you know, you're in this for money. So if you're in this for money, so long as someone has given you their maybe $500,000, wewe unasema huko kwingine kutajipanga, or you tell them I have someone in the embassy, your visa is a guarantee. There are no guarantees. There is no embassy that is guaranteeing anyone. It's a case by case decision, and this decision is not being by me. It's not being made by global scholars. It's not being made by the university. It's being made by maybe the UKVI, they call them the Home Office. It's being done by people who are purely looking at your documentations. They are looking at your bank statement. They are looking at your genuineness. Are you actually going to study, or are you just going to work there? Are there jobs available for you? So we help the student understand. First, as a student, you won't work full time. You work for 20 hours. If you have this amount of money, this is how you're going to survive. If you actually want to go and study and work and pay your bills, you have to work 2 jobs. Do we have those jobs? You apply for them. There are no guarantees that you'll get the jobs. So basically, when the student walks into our office or calls us, we do an interview to determine what they have in place, what is required, money-wise, document-wise, and also even the well-being aspect of, is this student going to mentally fit into this community with these challenges maybe of not having enough money? Can the community help? Can the university help? Can they be able to work and survive in this foreign country? So we get to understand all these things. We advise them accordingly by even telling them you can change from this intake to the other one, because maybe if you go in January, you'll be able to work over summer and cover some of your living costs, or you can go in September when there are more scholarships for you to maybe get some funding from these scholarships.
Oh, awesome. There are so many people who are watching, and maybe their question is, what do I need to qualify for either a scholarship, a visa? Kuna wengine ni kama mimi hawajui, where do I start? Me, I just want to go to UK. Me, I want to go to, what would you advise me? To go as a school, as a scholar, kusoma, or to go work, so that even as they interact with these agencies and people that want to take them abroad, they'll be able to know how to choose the right person who can help them in the right way. What should I look out for?
So the reason as to why we usually tell people we just do student visas is because that's the surest way to get into a foreign country, study, work part-time, and eventually full-time, and actually become a resident there. These other visas, let's say for example a visitor's visa. If you come to the UK, for example, with a visitor's visa, you're not allowed to work. You are not even entitled to any benefit. You can't even go to an hospital and be treated the way someone who has residence will be treated, for free. You have to pay. So if you're coming as a visitor there, you need to know that in 6 months' time, you need to have left. It's not also easy to transition from a visitor to a student visa. You have to probably transition from a visitor to a skilled worker visa if you find a job. And you see, when you go with a student visa, you'll be able to work part-time. You are also allowed to, because you've already paid for your insurances, you'll be able to use the hospital facilities for anything that requires in matters health. So I would tell someone, go as a student if you can afford.
Yes.
You can go do your degree or do your master's or even go do your PhD. Doing a master's is cheaper because it's just for 1 year or 2 years compared to a degree where you have 4 years of study and you must show that you have money to pay for those 4 years for you to get a student visa. PhDs are better, especially in the UK, if you are thinking of relocating your family because they allow you to go with dependents. Yeah. So it's normally a case by case. You come to me and you say, my parents can afford to pay the tuition, so I'm going for my first degree there. I just finished my Form 4. I'll say, yes, these are the requirements. Can you manage this? Give me your KCSE certificate. Give me recommendations. Give me your CV. Write for me a statement of purpose that shows me why you want to do this course and why you want to go to this particular destination. And then we start your application. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Interesting.
Yes.
I know you were in your initial stage of starting this organization where you're helping people out there.
Yes.
And so, how far are you? How many students have you helped to go, and what gives you joy in your line of work?
I think with the Global Scholars Connect, I found my purpose. I've always wanted to do a business that doesn't just make money for me. I am happy when I hear a student has gotten a scholarship, a student has gotten a visa, a student has already started their studies, and I always check in with them. I go to the university and ask them how they are doing, and that gives me a lot of joy. I feel like I'm not just a mother to my 3 boys, I'm a mother to other students who are coming through us. So we started last year, 2023. We managed just 3 students. And we were very happy because our first time and we have someone to actually take there, that was a big deal for us. It may not be for so many people, but that was a starting point for us. So right now we did this September intake for 10 students. So we are saying this has been a gradual growth, but then we feel like we are going somewhere. Yes. Yeah.
Amazing. So where are you seeing yourself in the next? How many years? Let's say 5 years. What would you say when you look back at your journey? Where are you seeing yourself maybe in the next 5 years?
Are you asking in terms of numbers or in terms of
everything? In terms of helping people out there, because you see, if today there are so many people here watching and they are stranded, kuna wenye wana watch hapa na wamenyang'anywa pesa yao, kuna wenye wako kwa waiting list, wanangoja kuenda, hawajui ni lini, but they have paid the money and they just know for some reason, maybe tutaenda, tumeambiwa December, tumeambiwa next year February, so you know, so it could be all round in the next 5 years. Where are you looking into? How many people are you looking into inspiring? And also for the company, where are you seeing yourself in?
I have mentors out there. I have people I look up to, and to be honest, I want to be a household name. I don't want to be known for probably the numbers that I will have taken out there, but I want to hear Global Scholars being mentioned as a company that has changed someone's story. I want it to be in terms of, I went to study, I learned something, I learned a skill, I stayed there for 5 years, I came back home, I developed this because I learned something from these economies, the big economies outside there, and I decided to bring this back home. So for me, it's not going to be, you know, Wendy is now having a lot of money, she's flying business class, first class. I want this to be, you know, this, our child, this Kenyan girl has actually done this for Kenyans. And not just for Kenyans. We want to be this company that is supporting Africans, because also I've come to learn that Africans are gifted in a very beautiful way. We are so resilient. We go out there, we face challenges, but we are these people who will fall down, wake up, dust ourselves, and keep going. So I keep saying, if we go out there and get all these skills that are not probably available here for one reason or the other, we go make our money. Of course, we want to go study, spend the money, but be able to make some and come back and develop our own country. I want to see people going out there, coming back and saying, my motherland has to look better than I left it. So for me, 5 years should look like we have this many people leaving the country or even leaving Africa, all of them being under global scholars. But I also want to see these same people coming back and saying, you know what, I'm a lecturer back in the UK or in the US, but I'm coming back to give this knowledge to this generation here that is trying to make it.
Yeah.
I also want to see these universities partnering with our institutions here, you know, changing the way our education system is. Because there's a reason as to why we have so many unemployed people, yet they have degrees, masters, PhDs. I mean, you can't just be educated and then you're also struggling in life.
True.
Yeah, so my dream is to change an overall, like, do a 360 change and everything from the way we live life, the way we take advantage of opportunities, and to change lives. Yes.
Yeah. My last question, before you tell us how we can reach you.
Yes.
Yeah. You've mentioned about challenges. What are some of the challenges? Maybe you grew up here, even when you went outside, some of the challenges that you've experienced, and life lessons, just general life lessons that you've learned that can inspire someone who is watching this video. Kuna mtoto wako mahali anasikia ku give up, imagine.
I've come to realize that life is what you make it. You can choose to look, you know, the cliche saying of glass being half empty or half full. So if you choose to look at going to study abroad or anything in life as being just a pure challenge, you know, you have this negativity and you're like, I can't do this, you will not do it. But if there is something in you that is telling you you can do it, believe in that small voice that is telling you you can change a narrative here. And once you do that, the rest will be history. You can go and do it. I mean, another challenge we face out there as Black people, I'll not say Kenyans, because our problems are general when we go out there. We are treated the same way. We are all from one African village. So
and people think actually Africa is a country.
They think it's one village that has, you know, a sub-tribe. Kenya, Nigeria, we all stay in that village. So the challenges we face are like, the first impression that people get from you is that you probably don't know what you're doing, that they can intimidate you with the things that they want to say or they've heard about you. The media also does a very good job of painting us negatively. So it's up to you to stand out and change this narrative, you know. Show them that you can do something. You've all these skills as a media personality. Why is it that you go there and you decide to do something you can't actually do at home? Why do you want to be put in a box when you're out there? Why do you want people to look at you and decide, these Africans? You need to show people that there's something more to you than just being an African. And you know what, the moment you decide that you're different and there's something about you that is unique, and you show that to the people, they'll start believing in you. People can only judge you from the way you carry yourself. If you carry yourself as this timid person, you're probably feeling like you're inferior because you do not understand the accents, or you feel like your tongue is too heavy so you can't even communicate. They will judge you like that, and you probably see opportunities passing, or you give other people your ideas and they'll cash on them. But you're the brainchild of these ideas. So why can't you stand up and tell them about your ideas?
That's interesting. Like stepping out and being you, other than we say, like the way people keep saying, don't look like your problems.
Yes.
Usiende huko kujifanya welcome to, you know,
Yes.
it's okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
I think I really love that.
Yes.
So let's maybe the last one is on the papers.
Yeah.
There are people fake papers. How dangerous is that? Unaenda tu unatengenezewa papers huku River Road, and I know papers is one of the things that should be really legit when it comes to outside. What would you say about that?
Actually, one of the worst mistakes you can make is fake a document, and then it gets, because you know sometimes you can fake and it looks very real, and you are lucky and you won't be caught. But somehow along the line, someone might notice that your document is fake. What that does, for example, if you're going to the embassy as a student, they will cancel your application. You lose your refund because the hotel, you lose your deposit if you had paid to the university. You lose your application fees for the visa. You basically lose a lot of money, and that thinks your passport or your name, because the next destination you go to, they will want to know why your visa was refused. And if it comes out that you had a fake document, even that country, the next one that you're going to, it's very difficult for them to allow you to come in, because now they will start checking, do you have another fake document? And what if you have it and they can't see it? So you will definitely mostly get no's from other destinations. So I would say, I don't see the point of faking a document while there are people who can support you to actually have a legit application. Yes. That's why we are there. There are some things that a student can do for themselves. They can do the application processing to apply to universities. Most of the Kenyans do that. They get offers, they get unconditional offers to universities. But then there is this process that requires some guidance from us agents who have already been in this industry. You've gotten training from embassies, you've gotten training from universities, and we help you to now organize your step-by-step processing of your study abroad. Yeah.
So now tell us, and to our last question,
Yes.
where do I start if I want to go to outside? How can you help me? You as a person.
Yes.
I know there are so many agencies out there. I know
Yes.
there are so many people there who are willing to help you.
Yes.
But you personally, as Wendy, or even as your organization,
Yes.
how can you help me to go outside, and what do I need?
As I said, the first step is to contact us through our email address.
You can tell us your email address.
Yes, our email address is info@globalscholarsconnect.com. You can also call us on +254 708 966 817. You can WhatsApp me directly on +44 7847 804 417. So all these numbers, I have access to them, whether I'm in the country or not. I can be able to see a WhatsApp message. I can see someone has tried calling me. I may not be able to get to that call at that moment, but I definitely get to answer, because I know it's someone who needs direct support from me. Then we also have an office in Ahit building. Our office is at Block 7. So you come there, you'll find my colleagues there, and they'll be able to help. And what we normally do is start with getting to understand what you're looking for. There are people who have already started the process. They probably just need help with the visas. We also help them with the visa. We also support students who are clueless, and we help them decide, this is the destination I want, this is the intake I want. We share all the information we have, the universities we've partnered with. We also help them understand that a student is required to do this and that, the many visas available, and what we are able to do. We clarify to them that we are not a work agency, so we are not connecting them to work opportunities. We are not offering full-time jobs. We even don't know where those jobs are being offered, because we see the jobs that are available for students. Of course, we can guide with the application of the jobs, especially for students, because that's where we now know who to talk to and what applications are really working for students. So that all this we do and charge like a small fee of 20,000, an initial payment of 10,000 once we've understood the needs of the student. And before we start the process, now we tell you we will do the applications for you, pay us 10,000 to also enable us cover our office overheads. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
20,000 is, I think, is manageable.
Yes.
Considering that people are paying millions out there.
Yeah.
Na bando zinaenda. So you sent your offices in Ahit
Yes.
building. Where is that?
So Ahit building is along Dennis Bridge Road, close to Royal Media Services. But then there's a junction where you enter and go to Royal Media. So we tell you, Peter your junction, you see a white walled building. And that's where you find us. You go to the reception, you ask them for Global Scholars, they'll direct you to our office.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's Global Scholars. Your last one, to our viewers out here, what would you want to tell them? Kuna watu wanakuona and they're like, I want to talk to that leader, I want to go to UK. How long does that process take?
It takes between 2 to 3 months, depending with whether you have all the right documentations, where you're able to fast track everything. Like when you've gotten an offer and you're being told you need to get to pay as soon as possible. If you're able to do all that processing as quickly as possible, even a month is enough. Because most universities come back with the offers within a week or 2 weeks maximum. Yeah, so once you're able, I think it depends with the student, because there are some that will say, oh, you didn't mention the employer letter and I need to look for them, or I do not have an academic recommendation, I don't have my transcript, so hizo ndo vitu chelewesha. But if you're able to bring all the documents from day one, then we are also able to do the application very fast. And then me being on the other side, then I call the universities and follow up. Some of them I walk into the university and tell them we need to give these students offers so that they can continue with the process. Yeah.
So you can either get a scholarship, you can either get tuition, how do they go?
The scholarship.
What am I likely to get, or what are the opportunities that I can look out to?
The scholarship comes after getting an offer to study.
Oh,
so the offer you get is either a conditional one or unconditional. Conditional is where you're required to give more documents or to prove more, or probably to even change your statement of purpose to tell us why you want to study this course. So it's a condition. Give us something more so that we can give you an unconditional offer. So if you get an unconditional offer, then this means they've accepted all your documents. Now they want you to progress to the next stage, which is now paying a deposit and getting your CAS. Your CAS is the letter that you take to the embassy to get your visa. So the scholarships, you apply to them after you've gotten this unconditional offer. So you apply for all the available scholarships, making sure you follow the guidelines, making sure you also get some guidance from us, because we've had students who have gotten scholarships. So we want to tell you, change your video here, say this. We may not guarantee that you'll get these scholarships, but we guide as much as we can. And if you're lucky, you get full scholarship or even 80% of the scholarship. Yes.
Oh, awesome. Your parting shots.
My parting shots, I'd say the world is our oyster. Like, uko nayo hapa. It's you to decide if you really want to take advantage of the opportunities out there, or you want to just fold your hands and say, you know what, my fate is to stay here and die here and, you know, make the what is it called? Make that place where you're buried, make it the richest place, because you will have your ideas, your everything there. So let's go for it. If you want to study abroad, why not? If you want to work there or leave Kenya and go permanently there with your family, you just need to start the process, and we are there to support you.
Awesome. Amazing. Guys, what are your fears? Nitanyang'anya pesa, sijui nitaenda. People by they go there and get stranded, right?
Yeah, the culture shock is for everyone. The system is totally different from ours. So for you to get used, I'm still learning. 7 years later, I'm still saying, oh my God, I didn't know this about the UK. but then you learn every day. Yeah.
Ah, nice, amazing. So guys, this is Wendy Kajuju, an amazing soul. But then I met Wendy today. She's such a lovely girl. I got
So are you, Stella?
I got an additional friend today.
Yes.
So guys, if you need help, Wendy is here to help. She has an office set where you can come sit down with someone. They help you do, you know, those applications. They'll even tell you what is the best application that you can do. So kama haujui wewe tu kitu tu unajua ni mimi nataka kwenda nje, hata ujui ni wapi nje unataka kwenda, come sit down with Wendy or one of our staff. By the way, you are very lovely. I've met her lovely girls. We are here somewhere around just near to her office. So I met her lovely girls. They'll help you to know what exactly you want. Thank you so much, Wendy.
You're most welcome.
Thank you for giving me this interview. I really needed to talk to you about this.
Thank you,
And I really appreciate your time and the
Karibu
knowledge you've shared with us today.
Asante.
Asante sana. Guys, we end it there. Asanteni sana. We'll see you in our next video. Thank you to Henry for doing this video, and Steve is always our editor. Thank you so much, Steve, and Peter for the support also, and he's also one of our cameramen. Asante sana. And thank you to all of you for being amazing and for being so supportive every day. We've been having massive views and massive subscribers recently, so we are growing. Team Slick Media Kenya, we are growing, and I'm so happy and excited about it, and thank you for being inspired by our videos. Till next time, goodbye. See you.